Hey everybody, this is Dad Talk Today, and I am Eric Carroll, and we are honored to be with Mr. Jim Jordan. Jim, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. Good to be with you. You guys been here all week, or?
Yes, sir. You know, this is starting to become a pretty big issue, and when we first started coming to CPAC, we didn't hear many people talking about it, but we talk about the issue of fatherlessness, and I was just curious, kind of what is your view on that topic?
Well, I mean, look, I think about my dad. My dad's my hero. My dad was old school. Particularly with my brother and I, we had a sister too, but particularly with my brother, he was, he's a kick in the rear kind of guy when you weren't doing things the right way, and it's sad when so many, particularly boys, don't have a dad around to target them in the right direction. I always tell the story that my background's wrestling. I wanted to play middle linebacker in the NFL, but you can see I'm 5'7.5" on a good day, so I had to wrestle, and was fortunate enough to win the state tournament my freshman year. And people ask, how'd you win? I said, I won mostly because I was dumb, mostly because I was ignorant. I didn't know freshmen weren't supposed to be state champions. All I knew was what my dad told me. And he said, if you set goals and you work hard, good things can happen. And I was crazy enough to believe it.
Yes, sir.
But he was there to direct you in the right direction and do what dads have been doing forever. And so I feel bad for when kids don't have dad and parents to do that kind of thing. And I like to hope I pass that on. We have 4 kids. We got 3 grandkids. 3 of our kids are married. Our youngest one's getting married soon. So I'd like to think I pass some of that same thing on to our children as well.
There's some policies that were enacted and some laws back in the 60s and the 70s that really financially incentivized women to really leave marriages. Women are the filers the vast majority of the time, where the states got money for, welfare programs and the like. How can we address that from a legislative perspective or from a grassroots movement, because it's really contributing to the breakdown of the family?
You want policies, particularly in our social welfare system, you want policies that encourage and incentivize family and encourage, incentivize work. There's been all kinds of studies, I think, that show, married households just do better financially. So you want to try to incentivize that the best you can. Now, you don't want any woman to stay in a relationship that's not healthy, where there's abuse or anything like that. So, but incentivize family, incentivize work is the best. And frankly, I think it's kind of obvious right now that this COVID has hurt some families as well. Just the lockdowns and not be able to get kids to go to school and a whole host of things. Not kids who don't have a dad around can't get in sports where they have a father figure to help them because of the lockdown, and that concerns me as well for the impact it's having on young people.
Yes, sir. One last question. Divorce is at a 55% rate in this country. Over half of marriages are ending in a divorce. I wish that we didn't have divorce, and hopefully we can get some type of focus back on the families here in America. But for the ones that are ending in that, I think back in the day, a lot of fathers did used to leave the family, and I've talked to people, but I think that narrative is still with us, and these guys nowadays are fighting tooth and nail to be inside their children's life, and they feel like they're coming up on the bad end of the stick. Is there some type of legislation that you would support that gives mom and dad equality upon divorce?
Well, I think what's important is always look at the best interest of the kid.
Yes.
And you hope families don't break up, but when it happens, let's focus on what's best for the kids in that family, and make sure that we're putting in place policies that help them, that are truly going to benefit them in life, and help those kids reach their goals and dreams. That's what we got to focus on.
Right. In closing, tell us what family means to you, Mr. Jordan.
Well, it's you think about the first institution the good Lord put together. It wasn't the church. It wasn't the state.
Amen.
It was mom and dads and kids. And the strength of that institution, I believe, ultimately determines the strength of our culture, of our society, of our country. And so government should be via tax policy, via a whole host of things, making sure we encourage moms, dads, and kids. I think we're all biased about our experience, but my dad was a union worker at General Motors. My mom cleaned houses. They put 3 kids through college. They made so many sacrifices so that my brother, my sister, and I could have things that they never got a chance to do. And it's that dynamic that is part of the reason we're the greatest country ever. Moms and dads making sacrifices for their kids so they can have life a little better than they did. They in turn do it for their children, and each generation does it. And you get this amazing thing we call America, where you can have a dream, have a goal, and go make it happen. And that's what we need to. That's what we need to remember.
Mr. Jordan, thank you so
You
much.
bet.
I know you're a busy
You bet.
man. Everybody, stick around. We'll be right back.
Thank you guys.
Hey,
Thank
thank